Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Spread Zone, presented by FanDuel. My name is Riz, as always, with Anthony Stalter. Are you Anthony or Tony this week?
We'll find out.
Okay. And then Tim McKernan, of course, again, sponsored by FanDuel, and the whole purpose of the show is simply to help you make money. Quick housekeeping, lines can move.
Yes.
So all picks are using FanDuel numbers as of the recording. We'll call out the lines and, of course, bet responsibly. All right. This week's a big one. We got NFL Conference Championship Sunday, Patriots and Broncos in the early game, and Rams and Seahawks in the late game. Lots of storylines, and we'll go through it all. But first, let's recap our picks from last week. So we had the divisional round, and then we had our college football championship game we all picked.
That's right.
So, Tim, how did we do?
I think the biggest storyline is not Patriots, Broncos, or Rams and Seahawks. I think it's the Spread Zone and what transpired on this podcast last week. Number one, you had a gentleman morph into a whole new character.
Yes.
We went from Lou Alcindor to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. We went from Cassius Clay to Muhammad Ali.
Yep.
We went from Anthony Stalter to Tony Stalter.
It's Tony the scientist.
Tony the scientist. Yes. In the lab. Yeah.
Riz, you had been grinding all year. You mounted a charge as well. But the story isn't the fact that both of you went 4-1 and I went 2-3. It's the fact that you were both a half point or a half yard away from going 5-0.
For the first time in Spread Zone history.
That's correct. I don't know if any of us have had an undefeated week. I think we've had a couple of 6-1s.
Yeah.
But two people going undefeated. Listen to this.
Oh, boy.
I got excited when I was going through the spreadsheet by myself. Now, that speaks to what's going on in my life personally.
Yes. You got a lot going on.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But I'm going through it, and I'm like, I went 2-3. That's about right. 3-2, 2-3. That's about what I've done throughout the course of the year. 2-3 this past week for me. Then I'm going through it. All three of us were on Miami plus 8.5.
Oh,
yeah. So how about that?
boys.
That's another storyline. First time that we've got an all three.
I believe
win.
I even said, I know Indiana's going to win, but I don't think
they're going to cover. Sharp play.
I don't think by much. I turned off the game after the first quarter, and I go, this is going to be a blowout. I was expecting to wake up on Tuesday morning.
35-3, you thought?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was ticked. I was ticked after the first half.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is going to be a boring national championship game. Miami couldn't move the ball at all. We're of course the Spread Zone, all loaded up on the Canes.
That's right.
This is a disaster.
It was a disaster. And I woke up that Tuesday morning at 2:30 in the morning. The first thing I did was open up my phone, and I went, man, I missed a great game.
Yes. It wound up being an absolute classic. However, 87% of the public bets were on Indiana. Miami gets the cover, and the sharp money moved that spread by the time kickoff rolled around to 7.5. It's amazing how that works. So we did get the win there. Let's see. Riz and I were both on the Seahawks against the 49ers. We both got a win there. That's where my wins stop. I was on the Bills. I got the loss there. Then this Tony Stalter this is where he came out and he played and he delivered. He started making prop plays and he shipped it. Kenneth Walker, over 1.5 receptions, sweat-free.
He had 3. I think he had 2 in the first half.
Boom, sweat-free. We're covering by halftime. Then he also was on Matthew Stafford, over 34.5 passing attempts. Boom. I think he had 40.
He had 44.
44.
And if you're wondering, Tim, and I know you are.
I am.
Did we need overtime for that? No, sir, we did not.
Oh, so
sweat-free.
Okay, great.
The lock, and I got a text when this happened. Wasn't even aware of it. That Tony Stalter's making me money over on Josh Allen, 36.5 rushing yards, and it was like in the first half on that one, too. Boom. Tony Stalter gets his lock to improve to 9-11 on your locks.
Thank you.
Riz, as I mentioned, of course, on the Hurricanes. On the Seahawks, you were on the Patriots -3. Very nice. And for your lock, you were on the Broncos, getting 1.5 at the time against the Bills. You got home there. So we're sitting here, gentlemen, talking about a 4-0 and a 4-0. Let's get to 5-0. Nay? Nay? Tony Stalter was on C.J. Stroud over 212.5 passing yards. Riz, do you know how many passing yards C.J. Stroud finished with?
Did he 212?
That's correct, sir.
On the dot.
Oh, man.
He finished with 212 passing yards. Horrific day. I don't blame you if you didn't stay the entire time and watch it, but obviously I was invested. Do you know what he did on the second to last play of the game?
What was the penultimate play?
He had Cade Stover in the flats, wide open. Nobody was within in an area code of nobody was within, still in the stadium of Cade Stover, and he airmailed that son of a gun 10 feet. And I thought to myself, all right, dump it off to the running back, and let's get this. Let's get the 1 yard we need.
212 yards.
I couldn't believe it when I saw it.
Well, to make it even worse, the last play of the game, he goes, screw it. He threw it 40 some odd yards. Xavier Hutchinson in the air, Brandon Cook style.
Yeah.
He's got it. He's going down, hits the ground, ball comes out.
I'll be honest with you. I'm surprised he even got 212 yards.
I agree.
After what, 4 interceptions?
He should have been pulled in the third.
Right.
Yeah.
It would have been a lot. It would have been fortunate, but when he airmailed that one to Cade Stover, I go, this might not happen, guys.
You sweat it out.
Unbelievable. I didn't know. I go through and I check the box scores and I'm like, oh my God, no way.
So there's your loss.
I almost texted you guys. I'm like, but I think this would be better for the podcast if we all kind of like
Natural reaction.
discover it. Yeah.
Yeah. And then Riz, 4-0. You got a classic. Rams and Bears. If Caleb Williams doesn't get that famous throw off to Cole Kmet,
You cover.
I cover.
5-0.
Yeah, because they're up
But
7.
alas, it goes to overtime.
Let's be honest.
The Rams win by 3. You had a -3.5, 4-1.
Let's be honest with that play. Okay, everybody's saying, what a great throw. God bless Caleb Williams. We're already putting the statue out in front of the stadium. He just threw it up.
Oh, 100%.
Of course.
Yeah.
He just
That was a Hail Mary.
There was a Hail Mary. Yeah. He just threw it up and hope for the best.
His pass the previous week against the Packers on 4th and 8 was a better demonstration of quarterbacking. It certainly will not have the fame attached to it as the Colts.
Hey, he could throw far. He could throw the ball far. And he threw it in the confines of the end zone, and thank God he had a guy there.
I was waiting for the little graphic to come up about the little flag graphic. Flag, because the way that
offensive pass interference and the reaction of the Rams secondary.
Totally. And the DB was 3 yards off at that point. Yeah. But when they showed the replay, I go, no, this sucker's going to count. Yeah, because there was no PI.
Yeah.
They were just kind of jostling. I thought the Rams corner must have been like, yeah, there's no way in hell this guy's throwing it this far.
And he did. And hey, he could throw the ball far.
Yeah.
And he threw it in the right place.
But if he bats it down, you're 5-0.
I know.
If C.J. Stroud doesn't throw it 10 yards over the head
of Cade Stover,
the backup, you're 5-0. Well, nonetheless, 2 4-1s on the podcast. You both win your locks. Here are the updated standings, gentlemen. And I think you're probably going to stay with Tony Stalter, but I'll let you make that call. You get the lock win. Riz gets the lock win. Anthony, you are now 9-11 on the year in your locks. Riz, you're 10-11 on the year on your locks.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, here we go.
Okay. All right.
And overall, Anthony has the lead on the spread zone at 69-71. That's 49.28% against the spread. Riz, you're 54-75.
Okay, we still got some ways to go. We got a ways to go there.
And then I dropped. I used to be like 67% on my locks, and now I'm 500, so that's a disaster. And I'm 65-71, 47.79% against the spread. Listen, there are your status updates.
I think we can make up some ground.
Here we go.
This week. So we're going to talk both the AFC Championship game and the NFC Championship game. I've prepared 4 picks for each game.
Nice.
Did you? What do you guys have? 3?
I've got
4?
3 for the AFC game, and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 for the NFC.
So you 7 picks for you. I have 8 picks, and Tim, how many picks?
I have 7 picks. 3, 3, and 1 for the lock.
We can make up some ground here, fellas.
You're darn right we can.
Yeah, so let's take our new slate.
Look at it.
So let's hit the board. We'll take a quick break. We're back talking about the AFC Championship game. It's the Spread Zone presented by FanDuel. All right, we're back on the Spread Zone presented by FanDuel talking the AFC Championship game. It's the Patriots in Denver taking on the Broncos. It's the early game Sunday. All right, so we'll start with you, Anthony. Your first pick for this particular game.
So this is a little more Anthony Stalter than Tony Stalter because I'm actually going to go with the spread pick for my first pick, not my lock. Drake May threw 3 touchdown passes last week, also fumbled 4 times. He lost 2 of those. He's made enough big plays to cash in on elite New England defense the last two weeks. But the offensive line hasn't played well. Drake May, again, not his best performances thus far. I don't know how Jarrett Stidham's going to perform in place of Bo Nix. Neither do you. I
don't think Sean Payton does either.
Neither does Sean Payton.
He was given a press conference talking about him and
raving about him.
But in the middle of it, you could see his face. He kind of lost confidence during the statement about his quarterback.
He's almost talking himself into it.
Right.
Yeah. But here's my point on this. He could be a complete dumpster fire. He could also manage the game. What I do know is that Sean Payton will put together a good offensive game plan. We know that Denver's defense is capable of keeping the Broncos in the game. I looked at the lines, the alternative lines. The spread is at 5.5. Mm-hmm. I said, what if I can get to 6, which is a key number, or can I get over that at a moderate price? Gentlemen, give me the Broncos plus 6.5 at minus 137. So it's not a brutal juice. It's not like it's minus 160. It's not minus 200. I get past a key number in a game that we have no idea how the QB is going to perform, but they're at home and the Patriots haven't played well. Give me plus 6.5 at that alternate number.
I took the regular line on this. I took the plus 5.5.
You can jump on this, Riz. There's plenty of room.
Down plus 5.5.
Riz, there's plenty of room on this.
Might as well get yourself another point. Might as well get yourself another point. But that's up to that. This is your cash.
We get past that key number, Riz. What do you say? What do you say to open up this podcast every week? We're here to make you money. This thing goes overtime.
Okay, throw me on the 6.5.
There it is.
There it is.
That's fine. Because I'm like, this is the classic buy your fear play.
Absolutely. So that's a great way to put it.
The line, I mean, obviously the line swung heavily with Bo Nix out. But even at 5.5 points, I think it's an overreaction for a conference championship game. So Sean Payton, he ain't no slouch as far as a coach goes. He's an elite game planner. And the Broncos still possess a top-tier defense. Sean Payton's going to turn this into an ugly field position battle to protect Jarrett Stidham. Getting more than a field goal at home with an elite defense is the value side. So I will take the 6.5 with you.
My man.
Tony Stalter.
I don't think listeners could hear, but there was some sirens and everything going around to the studio just there when Riz was talking. And I think somebody knows we're stealing.
Yeah.
We're stealing money here.
What say you, Tim McKernan?
Gentlemen, I hate to do this, especially considering you're on the heater that you are on, but I am on the Patriots and laying 5.5, as you acknowledge. It's an alt line, so 6.5, but 5.5 is the current number.
Let's middle this thing, huh?
Yeah, wouldn't that be nice?
Nice 6 point.
Everybody wins. That's possible. That's about 20 to 14. That is possible. I just don't think that there is any way that a guy who hasn't played even as much as Sean Payton is selling him is going to come in and lead an offense that already was, relatively speaking, stagnant, even with Bo Nix, against a New England Patriots team that, to Patriots fans' credit, they've turned the page on a couple of rough years, and here they are right back where they were before and in a potential spot to go to another Super Bowl, and they get to do so against a rather lackluster series of opponents to do it. I mean, the Chargers, the Texans, and now the Bo Nix-less Broncos. I don't know if a team has won 3 games to go to the Super Bowl against a less impressive group than what the Patriots would do, especially for a road game being a favorite like this. I think that this is going to be a sweat-free situation. Patriots minus 5.5 to start things off on Conference Championship Sunday.
Just as an aside, I have loved listening to Patriots fans this week.
Are they very defensive about it?
Fight the narrative that it's only because of the schedule that they have gotten here. They had the weakest schedule of any NFL team, I think of any NFL postseason team in the history of the league. And as you mentioned, the Chargers completely decimated on the O-line. C.J. Stroud, one of the worst performances by a quarterback in NFL playoff history. Yeah. And now they get to face Jarrett Stidham. The Patriots are a good team. They are. I mean, they're going to be like a 3.5 point underdog, depending on who they play in the Super Bowl if they get there. Mm-hmm. They're a damn good team. But Patriots fans, really? Really? You're fighting, you're ticked off because people aren't bowing at the New England altar?
Oh, Drake May did have a great
He was great.
Have a great season.
Mike Vrabel's probably going to win Coach of the Year. Like the Patriots have been good, but you're crying foul. Have you met a Brown fan? A Jets fan?
I know. Well, all right. So next, let's talk. Anybody touching the over under?
I am.
Okay. So as of this recording, it's 42.5.
Yep, that's what I got here.
And Tim,
I'm on the under. I wish I was looking forward to this game. Candidly, when I compare the college Final Four and the NFL's Final Four, when the Bears lose and the Bills lose, my enthusiasm level for the matchups has been reduced substantially, comparatively speaking. If it would have been, let's say, the Bills and Patriots in an AFC showdown, and then Bo Nix's injury certainly compounds the issue, and then if you would have gotten the Bears and Seahawks in Seattle and the classic that could have been, as opposed to seeing these teams play again, like the Rams and the Seahawks will, I just think that this is going to be something along the lines of like a 20-3 or 20-6 kind of deal in Denver, and it'll be, okay, we'll move on and start talking about the Rams and the Seahawks. So that's where I am. I love the under on this.
Put me on the under as well.
You're on the under as well.
Yeah. Right. This is, I mean, the total opened higher, but is settled at 42.5. And listen, with a backup quarterback on one side and a rookie on the other side, facing a hostile Denver crowd, the game script, which I read, is conservative play calling. So Denver cannot afford a shootout, and they're going to run the hell out of the ball, and they're going to rely on their defense to keep the score low. So throw me on the under.
All right, under it is.
Nice 16-10 game, huh, boys?
Yeah.
16-10. Everybody gets home. Everybody gets home.
Everyone.
Podcast is undefeated at that point.
That's
right.
Anthony, your next pick.
Despite you read, I actually want to see that game script because it actually impacts my next play. Mm-hmm. You said they're going to run the ball. I imagine that would be the game plan going in. Denver has struggled to run the ball. They're still going to have to put the ball in the air at some point, though. One of the players I thought really struggled last week for the Broncos, and it should have set up that he was going to be the stud, was Cortland Sutton. Mm-hmm. Pat Bryant had 3 receptions in the first drive of the Broncos. He looked like he was going to have a monstrous game. He suffered a concussion. He was out. Troy Franklin at some point got injured. I don't think he had a target. All of a sudden, Marvin Mims comes out of nowhere and has a huge day. Sutton, though, still saw a bunch of targets. He dropped a handful of passes. I think this is a classic rebound game for their number 1 wide receiver. I know he'll probably go up against Christian Gonzalez, but Gonzalez faced Jaden Higgins a couple of times last week, and Jaden Higgins was fine against him. So give me Cortland Sutton over 51.5 receiving yards. I don't think it's a high hill to climb. 51.5 isn't certainly what like Puka Nacua is at 90 or 100. I could see him having a couple of 20-yard gains, and we get this number relatively easy.
All right, so my next pick, I'm going with a Patriots player, Ramondre Stevenson, over 18.5 yards receiving. So how about this number? His target rate jumps from 7.7% to 12.4% when Drake May is under pressure. The Broncos have a fierce pass rush that will force Drake May to get the ball out fast. Stevenson has top 20 receiving yards in 6 consecutive games. And in a game where New England might struggle to push the ball downfield, the check down is king. And that's what Stevenson is for Drake May. So give me Ramondre Stevenson over 18.5 receiving yards.
I love that play. That was good research, too. I like that.
Yeah, comparatively speaking, I like that play. Gentlemen, I think you're going to see Jarrett Stidham do some scrambling, and I am thrilled to see this number as low as it is. I'm going to go on the over of Jarrett Stidham rushing yards, 13.5. I think when you are in the spot that he is in, getting his first playoff start, the pressure that I expect New England to bring, he is going to be in scramble mode. I love over 13.5 yards. I hope I can duplicate for the audience what Tony Stalter did last week with Josh Allen in Denver on the scrambling yards. Hopefully it is the Broncos quarterback this time who gets us home in the first half, just like Allen did for you last week.
I like that a lot. I was looking at Jarrett Stidham's numbers, and the times that he has played, he will run.
He'll run.
Well, I'm going to kind of piggyback on that pick.
Oh, wow.
But I'm going to go under 190.5 passing yards.
Yeah.
Okay. So correlation.
Yeah. You're saying he's going to run a lot. He's not going to, Sean Payton's not going to rely on him to win this game with his arm.
Mm-hmm. Can 52 of those yards go to Cortland Sutton?
Sure.
Thank you.
And we'll have some to spare. Expect a heavy dose of the run game and safe short throws on Sunday. The volume simply will not be there for him to hit a high yardage number.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I'm taking Jarrett Stidham under 190.5 passing yards.
Man, I wish there was a correlation to that, because I agree with you. They just don't use Ingram at tight end. Like if they had a decent tight end, that would correlate really well. Like you're saying, short passes, get the ball out quickly, stuff over the middle. Maybe Ingram has a decent day, but I just can't get there with Ingram. My other play, it's not a correlation, but it's thinking the same way, is I got Drake May over 31.5 rushing yards. That number is higher, obviously, but I could see, as Riz said, Denver's got a ferocious pass rush.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean they always get home, though. And if Drake May starts to drop the eyes, you get some Ramondre Stevenson check downs, great. Mm-hmm. The other times he escapes. If he has a lane, Drake May's got a lot of athleticism. I think he gets over the 31.5 rush yards.
All right.
That's my AFC card.
There it is. The AFC.
I haven't heard a lock of the week from anybody yet.
No locks on this game for me. That's where I come into the latter game.
I think we'll have some locks coming up when we talk Rams and Seahawks. You guys have any other picks for AFC Championship again? Right. Let's put that to bed. We'll take a break. We'll come back. We'll talk Rams. We'll talk Seahawks. We'll talk NFC Championships. It's all next in the Spread Zone, presented by FanDuel. All right, we're back on the Spread Zone, presented by FanDuel, talking the NFC Championship game. It's the Rams in Seattle taking on the Seahawks. All right, so spread is 2.5. Seahawks minus 2.5. Who's jumping on that?
Not me. And now Tony Stalter appears.
Oh, wow.
No spread, no total.
No.
God.
Tim McKernan.
I am on the spread. I'm not on the Seahawks. I am on the Rams.
I'm taking the Seahawks.
All right.
Minus 2.5.
Here we go. Here we go.
Money's pouring in on Seattle early, and for good reason. You know, Seattle's coming off a 35-point blowout win. The Rams barely survived overtime against Chicago. Seattle's defense is allowing just 3.9 yards per play. You want to grab this at 2.5 on FanDuel before it crosses, I think, the key number of 3. Seattle's defense is currently playing significantly better than the Rams' offense.
I agree.
So I will take Seattle minus 2.5. So you're on the other side of it.
I am on the Rams getting 2.5 points. The Rams, I think, are just going to be in a spot where they're going to be able to get into a shootout with this team, and I think that benefits the Rams. And I do realize you're right that Seattle's defense has been playing well lately, in particular against the 49ers, because they wrapped up the regular season and shut them down in Santa Clara, and then they shut them down big time last week in Seattle in the playoff game. But this is a different operation. That was a San Francisco team that was dealing with its injuries, and this is not what we're going to see from the Rams, and therefore I think that you're going to see the Rams, and I love getting some points here if it does get to be a close game. So Rams 2.5 is where I am.
Okay. Nobody's touching the total?
I'm touching it. I'm groping it, actually.
Go ahead.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's heavy petting season here.
Smokes.
Well, that's what happens. See, you switch names, I get more aggressive.
Yeah.
Total is 47.5.
Just everything. Oh, I got it at 46.5. And I'm on
Somebody
the page.
checks.
Yeah,
Somebody checks to see what
this could be
FanDuel's on.
valuable. I need everything I can get. 46.5. Woot woot. Over. I got to be honest though. I think that this thing's going to be so far over it doesn't matter. But I'll take the point where I can get it over 46.5. Love it. Love it. Love it. I mean, I just think that you're going to. I'm confused why it's this low.
I'm taking the other way.
Oh, is that right?
Yep.
You're going under. All right, here we go. By the way, it's my lock. I don't know if I
it's your lock?
my lock. Yep.
I mean, if you come out saying that you're going to grope it and not have it be your lock,
I mean, I'm like, how can I match Anthony changing his name? I'll get into heavy petting with my lock.
Yeah,
That's where I went.
Okay, so some of these sports websites, they do these simulations, and the AI, the Sportsline AI, via CBS Sports and a couple other sites here, they simulated this game and projects a final score of roughly 43.6 points.
it's a lot of value in the under.
Yeah.
And I have it at 47.5, and I'm like, I got almost a 4-point cushion on the under. Seattle boasts the league's lowest points per game allowed at 42.2. I'm sorry, at 17.2, and the Rams are 10th. Championship games tend to tighten up, and the AI, the simulations all see a very defensive battle.
It's hard to go against those robots.
So, hey, and I bow down.
You do bow down to the bots?
To our AI overlords. Give me the under. So it's at 46.5 now?
46.5 is the number.
All right, give me the 46.5.
46.5, you're on the under. All right. Where was the 10?
And now I'm not. That's your lock of the week, the over.
Love it. Hey, I've lost 4 of my last 5 locks. So, you might be on the good side of history here,
All right, Anthony, what's your first pick?
All right, this is where Tony Stalter went into the lab. You guys ready? Here we go. Not my lock. I'll save my lock until the end here. I like Kenneth Walker.
Yeah.
I like him in the receiving game.
Yeah.
So I looked at the reception total again. I'm like, give me over 2.5. Yeah, the juice was like minus 170.
They're on to you.
I can't do that to our listeners, but I did see this. Kenneth Walker, over 22.5 receiving yards. Walker's cleared that number in 3 straight meetings with the Rams. He caught 3 passes for 64 yards in that wild Thursday night football game. Back in December, he caught 3 passes for 44 yards in the November matchup between these two teams, and he caught 3 passes for 24 yards in the second meeting last year. 3 straight times he's cleared this number. My only concern is that Walker, his role changes with Zach Charbonnet out for the year.
Yes.
However, it's more likely to me that the Seahawks lean into Walker overall than shift the role to Vele Jones, who was just off the practice squad last week. So Kenneth Walker, they love him in the receiving game, over 22.5.
I'm on a Kenneth Walker prop too.
Rushing?
Yeah. Over 86.5 rushing yards because of him now, because he was a 50-50 running back with Charbonnet now suffering a torn ACL. He's out. The backfield was nearly a 50-50 split during the regular season. With him, with Zach gone, there is no one to eat into his volume. Mm-hmm. So he becomes a true running back.
True RB1.
RB1 in the game. And in fact, I'm making this my FanDuel lock.
Wow.
Kenneth Walker III.
Yes.
Gentlemen, it
over 86.5 rushing yards.
An honor to share with you some good news for both of you regarding Mr. Walker. Anthony, DBA, Tony, you said 22.5 receiving yards. I got good news for you. That number has moved down to 20.5 receiving yards.
What?
Yeah. And Riz,
Tim,
you're on the
well done.
Yeah. I mean, I got to protect the field here.
Yeah.
If the line went the other way, I would tell you. You said 86.5. I got good news for you. It's 85.5. So there's a yard in your favor.
This changed, and we're recording this at 11 o'clock Central Time on Tuesday.
Yeah.
That line moved within the hour.
It's unbelievable.
Wednesday, but yeah.
It is Wednesday. Yes.
Yeah. No, that's all right. That's all right.
Wednesday.
I don't want people fact checking.
No,
us.
I know. It's 11 o'clock Central Time Wednesday. We'll edit this in post.
Make a note, please. Thank you.
Time coded.
So within the hour that moved.
That's crazy.
Well, this podcast moves markets.
Although we like it, but it went the wrong way if we're moving it.
All right, Anthony or Tony, let's get another pick from you.
Kobe Parkinson, tight end for the Rams, has seen his role increase since week 5. I believe that correlates with Tyler Higbee's injury. Parkinson hasn't had a ton of success against his former team, that being Seattle. However, trying to get the ball outside against these Seattle DBs, a little tough. I think Matthew Stafford and the Rams are going to lean on their tight end a lot more. Since becoming a bigger part of the offense in week 5, like I mentioned, Parkinson has cleared 24 receiving yards in 10 of 13 games, including both of the Rams playoff games. He had a decent game against, like, not a lot of catches, but Stafford's finding him for 20 yards at a chunk. Give me Kobe Parkinson, the tight end for the Rams, over 23.5 receiving yards. Unless our crack team can.
I mean,
give me a better number.
I am the crack house.
Yeah.
And it's my honor to let you know that number 1, the number is 21.5.
Jeez.
And number 2, who would have thought, but we are both on Colby Parkinson over.
Give me some. Nice job.
I love the Colby Parkinson. I'm on the Colby Parkinson play.
No.
No, my lock's. Oh, that's not your lock. My lock's the over on the Rams Seahawks.
Something juicier.
Yeah. Oh, wow. So there it is, 21.5. We're moving markets here, 21.5. The wrong way, but nonetheless,
I want to
markets
hear
are
this
moving.
juicy lock.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
You're not ready.
It's Tony Stalter, Riz.
You're not ready for it yet.
Okay.
You have a fiduciary responsibility to your family to ride.
I got 2 more.
Ride with him. And my other play on this game, since I've already given my lock, is Kyren Williams. Because, again, I'm expecting it to be a shootout. I thought this number would be higher. I know he splits time with Blake Corum. It is currently at 51.5 on his rushing yards. Kyren Williams, I'll go over on Kyren Williams, 51.5 rushing yards.
Give me Kyren Williams over 12.5 receiving.
All right, a lot of Kyren Williams action out there.
Yeah, I think this is Matthew Stafford kind of tossing it to the guy in the backfield when he's out in a soft spot in the Rams defense.
And they really didn't even use Blake Corum a lot last week. In fact, when they used him, they had the pitch on that crucial third down play in the overtime got stuffed.
Stafford's a guy that's going to take what the defense gives him, and the data suggests a soft spot, and Seattle's zone is the running back out of the backfield. So
hey, what number do you have on that, Rick?
12.5.
Okay, that one's holding steady. All right, I thought that you said 14.5. 12.5 is the correct number on Kyren Williams receiving.
Give me the over on that one. All right, Tony Stalter.
All right. My second to last play, I'll save the lock for the last. I thought for sure this number would be like 7.5, maybe 8.5. So when I saw this, I'm like, yeah, this is good stuff. Jackson Smith and Jigba, over 6.5 receptions. I thought it'd be, like I said, it'd be 8.5, 7.5. He has at least 7 receptions in 3 of his last 4 games against the Rams. He caught 9 passes in the first meeting between these two teams and 8 passes in the second. I don't see how he has fewer than 7 receptions unless he gets hurt, and God willing, he will not. Over 6.5 receptions for Jackson Smith and Jigba.
All right, that's booked. Gentlemen, my picks have already been filed. So, Riz, if you have another one.
No, I'm done.
You're done.
We're waiting for the juicy
lock.
lock.
All right, boys. In 11 career games versus Seattle, Matthew Stafford has attempted at least 36 passes.
Oh, you're going back to the well.
In 7 of those games. He fell short of that number by 1 attempt in 1 of those games. So really, we're looking at like 8 of his last 11. In his 12 career playoff games, Stafford attempted at least 36 passes in 9 of those 12 games. Didn't have a lot of success through the air last week, and we still cleared the attempt number going into overtime, like we mentioned in the recap. Gentlemen, my lock, Matthew Stafford over 35.5 pass attempts.
Wow. I like the play. I got to tell you, I like the play.
They're going to put the ball in the air a lot. They did it last week. They only scored 17 points last week. And he still had 44. Or no, I'm sorry. They scored 20 because of the overtime. He still had 44 pass attempts last week, I believe. So you know that Sean McVay is going to go to the air plenty. So that's my lock. Matthew Stafford over 35.5 pass attempts.
Well, fellas, there you have it.
There it is.
Our next job is to watch the games.
Yep.
Nice.
And see how these all play out. So that's a wrap on this week's Spread Zone. Quick reminder, all of our picks are made on the FanDuel Sportsbook app, so make sure you download it today. And tell us as we build our bankrolls. For Tim McKernan, Tony Stalter, my name is Riz. This has been the Spread Zone, and good luck, and may all your bets be winners.
We provide information about sports betting for entertainment purposes only. Please confirm gambling regulations in your state of residence. To participate in sports gaming, you must be 21 years of age or older and be physically present in a state where sports betting is legal. If you or someone you know has a sports betting or gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org for more information and further assistance.